just to check that I can balance that out, do we have any Americans in? Oh yeah, one guy. Oh yeah, I got friends. What's your name, sir? Ross, nice to have you here then, Ross. Obviously, sorry to speak to you last, Ross. Sorry for bringing you into the show a bit late. Think of it as a world war. And, okay, in Ross's defence, whereas you were late for the first 2 world wars, you have done your very best to start everyone since, so... Bless yourself. So what brings you over here, Ross? Are you visiting, on holiday, working, invading? What brings you here, Ross? You're here for the comedy store. What, a round trip? Fuck me, that is impressive. What's cool? Which bit of the States are you from, Ross? New York, excellent. You know why I like the New Yorkers, apart from the fact that they're kind of almost the closest to us, is because they're the ones that are quite open thinking. We know they're open thinking because they can see the sea. You see, if you want to know how American politics works, it's very straightforward. Look at a map of the US, and if the state touches the sea, they're Democrats because they've realised the rest of the world exists, okay? That's the way it works. So it's the ones in the middle, they're the ones who vote George Bush in. Don't take the piss out of Ross, right? He understands the rest of the world. It's the ones in the middle, the ones who live in Idaho, vote George Bush in because he's going to save us from terrorists. They're going to come here and nuke me. No, they're not going to nuke you. They're not going to nuke you. You live in a cornfield in the middle of fucking Idaho, right? Your neighbours live 5 miles away. The worst thing that happens if you get nuked is you wake up tomorrow morning up to your neck in fucking popcorn. I mean, that's... the full extent of your fear. So are you a regular visitor, Russ, to our shores? Once a year, okay, fair enough, which is a little bit too often, to be fair, in some ways. And do you know what? I'm not having a go, right? Because you travel, well done, because people say, Americans don't travel anymore. They do travel, just a small minority. And yet people say that, that so few of them have passports. Well, I've heard lots of percentages. I actually went and checked, Ross. I looked on the US government's own website to see what percentage of Americans have ever owned passports. And do you know what the answer was, Ross? It was 29%, right? Which I still thought was a phenomenally low percentage. And then I saw on another website that 1 in 3 Americans would like to try anal sex with their partners. I thought, well, hang on, that's 33%. That's a higher fucking percentage, yeah? So in other words, when an American turns to you and goes, hey, honey, I want to go somewhere I haven't been before, well... you don't go to the travel agents. Yeah. So, Ross, a regular visitor, so have you picked up much British slang at all in your visits? Not a bit, you see, that's the thing, you see, because you know what? People take the piss out of Americans for not understanding, thinking they don't understand our language. Well, what we don't realise is you have slang too. It just means different things, right? Because when you say pissed, you mean angry, whereas we mean drunk. When you say wrecked, you mean destroyed, whereas we mean drunk, and... when you say wasted, you mean murdered, whereas we mean drunk. It's pretty much drunk for everything, I think. Yeah, mullered, not covered in yoghurt, drunk, you see. But listen, Ross, I will leave you alone a moment, but the reason why I asked if there's any Americans is the last time I was at the Comedy Store, I did actually get heckled by an American, which is a little bit weird, because they're not used to arguing with strangers without weapons, obviously, and... what had happened is he'd been there the week before, Ross. He'd had the piss absolutely ripped out of him, imagine. And he was so upset he'd come back the following week and prepared some heckles. I know he'd done more groundwork than the actual acts. And I just thought, well, I didn't know about this guy. I didn't know he was going to be in trouble. I walked out on stage, saw him in the audience, thought, is he American? Check shirt, 2 cameras, had a guess. Picked him out, started what I considered to be some fairly light-hearted, friendly banter. But before I could even finish my first sentence, the guy stood up, pointed at me and went, hey! If it weren't for us, you'd all be speaking German. I was like, maybe. But if it weren't for us, you'd all be speaking Apache Indian. Yeah, then I had to explain it to him. Things turned a little nasty.